The F-35 Lightning II. You've heard the pitch. Undisputed king of the skies, a fifth-generation technological marvel that guarantees air dominance for decades. But what happens when the king is so expensive you can't afford to let him leave the castle? The total cost of the F-35 program is projected to reach a staggering $2 trillion over its lifetime. And according to the U.S. Government Accountability Office, or GAO, the fleet has consistently failed to meet its readiness targets. Meanwhile, a cheaper, tougher fighter from Sweden is quietly achieving the real-world operational goals the F-35 was supposed to master. In this video, we'll reveal how the Saab Gripen's radical focus on reliability, efficiency, and strategic independence provides a devastating answer to the F-35's biggest problems. The program that birthed the F-35 started with a revolutionary promise: one jet to do it all. It was meant to be a stealth fighter, a formidable bomber, and a flying intelligence hub, all rolled into one. The idea was to replace a whole hangar of aging planes, from the F-16 to the A-10, creating a streamlined, technologically superior force for the U.S. and its allies. The appeal was obvious. A single platform would simplify logistics and training, creating an allied force a generation ahead of any adversary. Its power came from two things: unprecedented stealth and a sensor fusion capability that would give its pilot a godlike view of the battlefield. This was the sales pitch, and for years it worked. Nations lined up, ready to buy into the future of air power. The promise was dominance. The reality? A brutal lesson in just how complex and expensive the future can be. The true cost of a weapon isn't what you pay to buy it, it's what you pay to own it. The F-35 program is the most expensive weapons program in history. The GAO projects its total lifecycle cost, covering buying, flying, and fixing it for all customers, at an almost incomprehensible $1.7 trillion, with some estimates putting the total program cost as high as $2 trillion. That number is like a gravitational force, warping defense budgets and forcing painful choices. But the trillion-dollar figure is long-term. The more immediate gut punch for air forces is the cost per flight hour, CPFH. This is the direct cost of keeping one jet in the air for 1 hour. Recent analyses from government watchdogs place the F-35A's cost per flight hour in the range of $34,000 to $42,000. While the program has made efforts to bring the cost down, it's still a punishingly high number. To put that in perspective, a single 2-hour training mission can cost more than many people make in a year. This immense cost has a chilling effect. When every hour in the air is a major budget item, pilots fly fewer hours, and in the high-stakes world of air combat, where fractions of a second decide who lives and dies, proficiency is everything. Nations that bought the F-35 for its promised edge are now in a strategic paradox. They own the most advanced fighter in the world, but they face constant pressure on training budgets. They have a Formula One car they can only afford to drive around the block on Sundays. The dream of a do-it-all fighter is being overshadowed by the nightmare of its price tag. Beyond the colossal financial burden, an even more insidious problem has plagued the F-35: its struggle with reliability. Advanced technology means nothing if the plane is stuck in a hangar. The key metric here is the mission-capable rate, the percentage of the fleet that can perform at least one of its core missions. According to the GAO, the F-35 fleet has consistently failed to meet its readiness goals, with overall mission-capable rates for some variants falling below 60% in recent years. That means on any given day, a huge portion of the entire F-35 fleet might not be ready to fly. Even more alarming is the full mission-capable rate, the percentage of jets ready to perform all their assigned missions. GAO data shows this rate has been particularly low, with some reports indicating it has fallen below 30% for the fleet. The causes are a tangled web: spare part shortages, repair delays, and the sheer complexity of the aircraft's systems. The GAO has repeatedly warned that the sustainment network is not ready to support a growing fleet in a potential high-tempo conflict. Compounding this is a strategic issue: the jet's IT backbone, once known as ALIS, and now transitioning to ODIN. This system tracks the health of every component, schedules maintenance, and manages the global supply chain. In theory, it's brilliant. In practice, it has created a profound dependency. The system is centralized and U.S.-controlled, meaning no nation operating the F-35 is entirely independent. Their ability to operate their multi-billion-dollar investment is tied to this network. While there's no evidence of this being used as a political kill switch, the dependency itself is a strategic risk military planners can't ignore. This tension became starkly visible during Canada's long search for a new fighter. For years, cost concerns raised by bodies like the Parliamentary Budget Officer fueled a massive debate about whether the F-35 was the right choice. Despite the heated debate, the Canadian government ultimately concluded the F-35's capabilities and interoperability with allies were the best fit, signing a contract for 88 jets in early 2023. However, the lengthy and difficult process sent a clear signal to the world. Even for a close U.S. ally, the F-35's cost and sustainment model isn't a simple slam dunk. While the world was mesmerized by the F-35's promise, Sweden was refining a totally different philosophy of air power. This thinking wasn't born in a lab, it was forged by the harsh reality of the Cold War. As a neutral nation next to the Soviet bloc, Sweden knew it could never win a numbers game. Survival depended on having an air force that could fight and keep fighting under the worst possible conditions. This led to a doctrine called BAS 90. The core idea was that in a war, Sweden's main air bases would be gone in hours. To fight on, the Air Force had to operate from anywhere. This meant small, scattered road bases, often just a reinforced stretch of public highway. A fighter for this world couldn't be a delicate hangar queen. It had to be rugged, reliable, and easy to fix by small teams of conscripts. It had to take off from short, damaged runways and be refueled and rearmed in minutes, not hours. This is the DNA of the Saab Gripen. Its very name, Gripen, Swedish for the Griffin, symbolizes mastery of both land and air. It's a jet designed to be as effective on the ground as it is in the sky. Where the F-35 is a marvel of dense technology, the Gripen is a masterpiece of efficiency. Its single engine is built for reliability. Its systems are designed for quick access and repair. The goal wasn't to build the most exquisite fighter imaginable, but the most effective fighting system possible. That system includes the pilot, the ground crew, and the dispersed bases, all working to generate the maximum number of missions in a day. The Swedish philosophy believes the most valuable ability is generating combat power consistently. A fleet of 100 fighters with a 90% readiness rate that can fly 3 times a day is far deadlier than 150 fighters with a 50% readiness rate that fly only once. The Gripen was engineered to win this battle of attrition. It was designed as a tool of war, not a trophy of technology. And this is key to understanding how it succeeds where the F-35 struggles. The F-35 answers the question, what is the most capable jet we can possibly build? The Gripen answers, what is the most effective air force we can realistically field? Many nations are now realizing that the second question is the one that really matters. If you're finding this breakdown of military philosophies and strategic choices interesting, take a second to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We explore the tech and tactics that define modern warfare every week, and your support helps us bring you this kind of deep dive content. When you put the Gripen and the F-35 side by side, their different design philosophies come into sharp focus, with real-world consequences. Let's start with money. The F-35A's cost per flight hour can be around $34,000 or more. In contrast, the Gripen was built for affordability. While a direct apples-to-apples comparison is notoriously hard because of different accounting methods, independent analysts often place the Gripen's operating cost in a range from $8,000 to $12,000 per hour, dramatically cheaper than the F-35. For an Air Force, this isn't just a budget line, it's a strategic advantage. A lower CPFH means pilots can fly more, which means better training and a more lethal force. Next is readiness. The F-35's complexity contributes to mission-capable rates that have struggled to meet targets. The Gripen, born from the Boss 90 doctrine, is the polar opposite. Saab has demonstrated that a small crew can refuel and rearm a Gripen C/D for an air-to-air mission in under 10 minutes. While this is a best-case scenario with an older variant, it shows the design principle carried into the new Gripen E. It's built to be maintained in the field, quickly. This means more planes in the air, more often. Perhaps the most dramatic difference is strategic flexibility. The F-35 is an apex predator, but it is more dependent on large, well-defended air bases. These big, fixed sites are the #1 target for an enemy's missiles. The Gripen, however, is designed to thrive in chaos. Its ability to operate from 800-meter stretches of highway completely rewrites the strategic playbook. An air force with Gripens isn't tied to a handful of vulnerable targets. Its power can be dispersed across dozens of unpredictable locations, making it an incredibly resilient force. Finally, there's the issue of partnership, perfectly shown by Brazil. When Brazil chose the Gripen, it wasn't just buying a fighter, it was buying a partnership with unprecedented technology transfer. Brazilian engineers co-developed parts of the aircraft, and a production line was established in Brazil by Embraer. This stands in stark contrast to the F-35's more closed model, where core technology remains firmly under U.S. control. For a country like Brazil that values strategic independence, the Gripen model was infinitely more attractive, offering not just a jet, but the knowledge and industrial base to support it. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean the F-35 is a bad fighter. In what it does best, it's arguably untouchable. Its combination of stealth and sensor fusion is the peak of current fighter technology. In a day-one scenario against an enemy with top-tier air defenses, the F-35 is the tool for the job. But warfare isn't a simple game of top trumps. The F-35's strengths come with trade-offs, and its weaknesses are precisely where the Gripen shines. What good is a stealth fighter if you're struggling to fund enough flight hours for your pilots? What good is its sensor fusion if it's grounded waiting for parts? This is where the new Gripen E starts to blur the lines. It lacks the F-35's all-aspect stealth, but it has one of the world's most sophisticated electronic warfare, EW suites, called Arexis. This system, which incorporates cutting-edge gallium nitride, GaN, AESA technology, is designed not just to jam enemy radars, but to act as a powerful sensor itself. The philosophy isn't to be invisible like the F-35, but to see and understand the battle space so well that you can pick your fights. This advanced EW capability leads to a tantalizing question. Can it challenge stealth? While a definitive answer is classified, the idea is that the Gripen's powerful systems could potentially detect the faint emissions from a low-observable aircraft or use its jammer to disrupt the F-35's own radar. In international exercises, there are persistent, though anecdotal, reports of the Gripen's impressive performance against so-called fifth-gen opponents. While official kill ratios aren't public, the chatter suggests that a smart, networked 4.5 generation fighter like the Gripen can be a credible threat, punching well above its weight. It suggests the tactical equation is far more complex than just stealth beats non-stealth. A test case for the future nowhere is this clash of philosophies more relevant than in supplying Western fighters to Ukraine. The war has been a brutal reminder that modern conflict is often a grinding war of attrition, where logistics, cost, and the ability to operate under duress are everything. From the start, the Gripen has been a central part of the conversation. Think tanks like the UK's Royal United Services Institute, RUSI, have pointed to the Gripen as uniquely suited for Ukraine's needs. Why? Because the Ukrainian Air Force has become masterful at dispersed operations, constantly moving its jets between small, improvised airfields. The Gripen, with its ability to land on highways and its minimal maintenance needs, is a perfect fit for this exact tactic. It is exceptionally optimized for the kind of resilient scattered basing that Ukraine has adopted for survival. The Gripen's lower operating cost would also allow the Ukrainian Air Force to generate more sorties and sustain their fight long-term. Despite this clear logic, the path to getting Gripens to Ukraine has been politically complex. However, as of mid-2026, the situation has become much clearer. Sweden has now committed to transferring an initial batch of Gripen C/D aircraft to Ukraine, with deliveries expected to begin in 2027. Furthermore, a deal is in place for Ukraine to purchase new Gripen E models, solidifying the Swedish fighter as a future backbone of its air force. The decision to send Gripens is a powerful testament to its relevance. The war in Ukraine is a real-world test case, and it has shown that resilience can be more important than sophistication, and availability can be more valuable than invisibility. The theoretical arguments about the Gripen's efficiency and flexibility are being validated by the harsh realities of modern war. The Gripen is proving to be the right tool for the job. The F-35 Lightning II was engineered to be the ultimate expression of air power, built on a foundation of stealth and data. It was designed to win a specific kind of war. But in the pursuit of that ultimate capability, fundamental principles like cost and reliability were compromised. The program has been dogged by crippling lifecycle costs that strain budgets and chronic readiness issues that leave a large part of the fleet on the ground. In stark contrast, the Saab Gripen was born from a more pragmatic vision, a vision built on efficiency, reliability, and flexibility. It is affordable to fly, so pilots can truly master it. It's simple to maintain, so it's ready to fight. It's flexible enough to operate from a highway, making it incredibly resilient. And it offers true partnership, empowering its operators. This is how Sweden's Gripen achieved what the F-35 couldn't. It didn't try to be an invisible, all-seeing god of the skies. It focused on the real-world operational goals that define an effective air force, being reliable, flexible, and affordable enough to generate combat power day in and day out. While the F-35 still grapples with its own complexity, the Gripen proves that the most effective fighter for the 21st century might not be the one with the highest price tag, but the one that best balances power with practicality. So, we turn the question over to you. What truly makes a fighter effective in the modern era? Is it the absolute peak of technology, or is it the unwavering ability to be ready for the fight? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.